Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to share with you today how to fall in love with this inviting process and how to approach it in a way, for me, that gives me life and that allows me to really focus on truly the gift I get to offer people in doing this. Before we get into this, though, what I want you guys to do right now is, and I'm sure some of you have heard this before, but I want you to take out a piece of paper, and I want you to go back to that first day that you were a brand new coach, whether that was a year ago, whether that was 3 years ago, whenever it was. And I want you to go back to that first moment right after you enrolled, and maybe it was the first moment that you were added to your team page or you got that email from your coach, from your upline coach. And I want you to go back to those very first moments. And just for a moment, I want you to live there, and I want you to relive all the emotions that you had when you first enrolled. So I'm going to give you just a second to think about that. I want you to think about all the emotions and the excitement and the hope. So just think about that for just 1 minute. And because I know a lot of people are going to watch this recording, I am going to move on. But if you are watching the recording, pause it and take a minute to really think and live in this moment, because I think this will be powerful for you. So on your piece of paper, you should have written down all of those things that you were hopeful for as a new coach. And I want to back up a little bit. I enrolled almost 4 years ago, come July. And I'll never forget the feeling I had when I enrolled. And just so you know, this is not something I was looking for. This is not something I would have ever sought out, being part of network marketing. I would have never sought out something like this. It was actually totally opposite of what I wanted. But I couldn't help but be excited. And I had heard my coach's story, my upline's story about, how it had changed her life and changed her marriage and changed her financial situation. And at the time, all of those things were a big fail for me. I was pretty much failing in all of those aspects of life, career, marriage. And I just remember the first night I enrolled, and I remember getting the email, from her welcoming me to her team. And for the first time, you guys, in years, I felt hopeful. For the first time, I felt this little bit of joy about my future. Because previous to enrolling, when I thought about my future, there was fear and there was doubt and uncertainty. And nothing was changing that. But then this one little invite, this one little step to become a Beachbody coach of all things gave me so much hope. And for the first time in a very, very long time in my adult life, after I had done all these things, I went to college. I went back to college and got a master's degree. I did all the things. And through those things, I didn't feel this hope. I didn't feel this joy. But there was something about this opportunity that I saw the potential of what it maybe could be for me. And it was actually because I saw what my coach had done with this, and I thought to myself, there's no way I'll ever have that big of a business, but maybe I'll just be able to stop fighting with my husband. And I also saw this potential through my coach to kind of share God's love through the business opportunity. And that was something that I thought was super cool, and something that I thought maybe, this isn't just about health and fitness, but maybe this is a platform for more, for me to make, a significant impact in the health and fitness realm, but maybe also to be this love and this light in a world that obviously desperately needs it. And I was so excited about that. And I actually texted my mom that week I signed up. I still have the text. It comes up in my time hop, and it said, I don't know why, but I just believe God put this in my life for a reason. I just believe that I did this for a bigger purpose. And I bring that up because every once in a while, I will enroll a new coach or a new challenger, and they will send me a very similar message. And last night was actually one of those nights, so it's kind of funny. I'm talking about this today. I enrolled a new coach last night. Hey, new coach, you know who you are. And I want to read the words that she wrote to me. She said, "Thank you so much for stepping out in faith back then, so I could find you one day and believe in God for my breakthrough. Yeah. I'm sure you had no idea how much God would bless others through you, but he knew my little niece and me would need you one day." And I'm literally in tears of gratitude as I'm typing this to you. So one thing you should know is she literally enrolled 10 minutes before she sent that message. And nothing has happened, right? She doesn't have a big business. She just enrolled. But she's hopeful and she's excited. And she sees exactly what I saw in this opportunity. And guess what, you guys? She's earned $0, but she has this faith and this joy and this hope that this is in her life for a reason too. And so often we get caught up in, I guess, the tangibles of this business of like how much you've earned, or if you're a diamond or a star diamond, and we forget that that's not all it's about. And there are people like me 4 years ago, truly, honestly, I just needed some hope. I just needed some love, something in my life to help me learn how to love myself, because that's truly what this experience has brought into my life over anything else, is self-love, which has created happiness, which has then helped me be able to push that forward and give that to other people. And so I want to start with that, because I think when you approach inviting, you have to realize it's not about a Success Club point. You have to realize it's not about $40 commission. You have to realize it's not about getting to diamond. It is about somebody's life on the other side of that. And at one point, I was that life, and my life looks so much different then. And it would look so much different today had I not been invited to this, had my coach not shared her video on YouTube, and my life would look so much different. So I start there, and I'm not going to go into the step-by-step inviting process with you guys today. You guys all have access to how to invite training in your Coach Basics, and I encourage you to watch that because that's going to be very thorough. But I do want to give you some tangible tips today and some do's and some don'ts in regards to your conversations and how you have these conversations with people. So I ask that you pause if you're watching this on a recording, and I want you to really pull out your invites. I do, because I want you to analyze. A big part of success in this business is constantly analyzing what you're doing. Is what you are doing working? Pulling up my notes here. And then if it's not, you have to evaluate. You have to analyze, and you have to say, okay, what do I need to change? What am I not doing that I'm supposed to be doing? And I think this is where things get lost a lot in this business. Someone might be inviting, but they haven't ever actually invited using the scripts that their upline gave them. And they're winging it and just thinking like, oh, I'll just try and do it. But I'm telling you, these, I don't like to call it scripts necessarily as guidelines, but this template that you've been given to invite, it's from someone in this business who has built a 7-figure business. And so I really encourage you to use it because it works, right? But Ben and I were talking about this the other day. We're always talking about this type of stuff. How we could all use the exact same script and the exact same wording, but people feel your heart behind it. And they feel your enthusiasm. And that's something that you have to dig into each and every time that you have a conversation. And you have to allow the conversation to be about the other person. Not about you, not about your Success Club points, not about if you're going to become a success starter or whatever. But that conversation truly has to be about the other person. People can feel that. They can sense it in your questions, in your conversations with them. And you have to come from that place. It's something you can't fake. And So as I talk through kind of these do's and don'ts, I want you to really analyze your messages and and ask yourself, like, are you giving to the person you're talking to? Are you giving them something in regards to hope, enthusiasm, encouragement, just words that will lift up their day in this message? It's not just about this inviting process, right? It's about, what can I give this person today in this message? They're coming to me and they're saying, I want to lose 50 pounds, or, I'm broke. What can you give to them in just that simple sentence, that simple next conversation that's going to fill them with hope and love and something to encourage them to keep going, even if they don't enroll with you? What are you giving back to them in that conversation? So the first do of inviting is people over products always. People over products always. And I want to go into what this looks like. So let's look at the last time that you, and hopefully it was today or yesterday. So go back to your messages today or yesterday, because if you're building a business and you're being a CEO, you have done this in the past 24 hours. I want you to go back to the last time that you either reached out to somebody, or they maybe saw one of your posts, and some people will have this happen, but not everybody. Sometimes you post and people will message you and be like, hey, what are you doing? I saw your post. So I want you to go back and look at those scenarios. And I want you to look at your first message, and I want you to see how you first approached that person. I want you to look now. And I want you to ask yourself, in that very first opening line, did you say something to them about them that's personal to them? Did you say, oh my gosh, hey, I see X, Y, and Z on your timeline, or I saw that you moved, or I love that picture of your dog, I have a dog too? Was it about them? Was a conversation about them? In that same message, I want you to look for something that I hope you didn't do, okay? I want you to look for a few things, actually. In that message, I want you to analyze. And after, greeting them, did you just go on to tell them every detail of the program and the challenge group and Shakeology, the nutrition plan, and you just gave them this huge laundry list of here's what it's all about right from the bat, from the very first message? That's what you send them. You're like, hey, I got this challenge group. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 45-minute workouts. You're going to need 2 barbells. Then we're going to have the nutrition plan, and you're going to have Shakeology, and Shakeology is going to make you feel like this. And every day I'm going to check it on you, and you have like a paragraph of specifics about your challenge group. Did you send that? If you did, I need you to stop doing that. I need you to stop doing that, because what are you doing? You're pushing a product. You're pushing a plan. You're pushing something when you don't even know yet what this person needs from you. Okay? How are you going to tell them about a product or a plan that you don't even know if they need, because they just messaged you or you just messaged them? But now you have spammed them with this paragraph of information about your challenge group that they don't even necessarily need at this point. And now you're taking up valuable time in their life by word vomiting all this stuff on them that you don't even know what they need. If that is what your first message looks like, I need you to bring it back to the person. I need you to bring it back to the person and make it about them. So what I hope you see in your first message, if you're doing this right, is you're making it about them from the get-go, connecting with them personally. And if they are asking for more information, I hope you are turning around and you're telling them why you're excited that they're asking, why you're excited that they're asking about more information about coaching or the challenge group. And then I hope that's all you say, and I hope that you simply ask about their goals. Because how are you going to help them get to their goal if you don't know what it is, right? How am I going to help them get to that goal if I don't know what it is? So my first invite, my first conversations with people are very short and sweet and to the point about them. So it usually is an opening greeting. It is, I'm so pumped you're asking about it. Here's what it's done for me. I want to learn about you. What are your goals? What are your health goals right now? What are you working towards? Or, what are your health goals over the next 30 days? Where would you like to take your body and your health in the next 30 days? What's that look like in your life? And I ask them that question. And then that's it, right? So that was 4 sentences, maybe. 4 sentences, and most of those sentences were all about them. People first. Now, you're saying, well, how do I go from here? And one thing I want to say, if people ask you, what is the cost? Because people will do this. They'll just be like, hey, I just want to know the price. I saw your post. Like, what's the price? I'm not going to tell them the price. The price for what? Because I don't know what you need. How am I supposed to tell you the price when I don't even know what you need to get to the goal I haven't asked you about yet? So I say, I'm pumped to talk to you about it. Let's start with talking about what your goals are so we can get you what you need to reach that goal. What do you want to do over the next 30 days in your health and fitness? So even if they ask me about costs, that's how I answer that message. So from there, the next thing, they're going to respond, and some people are going to be very lengthy in their message about their goals and tell you a lot about their life. And some people will literally text back and be like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds. And that's it. So let's just assume they said, I want to lose 30 pounds, and that is it. Okay? In that situation, I'm again going to be like, I don't know a lot about you at this point. So the very first thing I do is, again, people over products. I'm going to relate and cheer them on to that one sentence they gave me of 30 pounds. Oh my gosh, girl, 30 pounds. I know you can do that. And, with this, we're going to do it the healthy way so you keep that 30 pounds off. And then I'm going to, relate to them and maybe share a story of a challenger of mine who lost 30 pounds. But then I'm going to dig in deeper and I'm going to ask more questions about them. Because I'm like, 30 pounds, like that's all you're going to give me? I need to know more about you. So then I'm going to ask them, what are your biggest hangups right now when you're trying to lose that 30 pounds? Or have you tried anything to lose that 30 pounds? What have you tried in the past? What didn't work? What has worked for you? So I can learn more about them. So that's how I go about if I get a very short response. If they give me a longer response and, they'll tell me about their family life and that 30 pounds, why it matters to them and what they've tried and that they're always falling off the wagon and they're super busy and they do tell me more. Again, every single message that I respond to, it is people over products, and I am being their cheerleader right off the bat. So I'm going to respond by cheering them on right away in regards to their goals, relating to their situation, letting them know I understand where they're coming from, okay? And in this, I'll either ask more questions again, or if it's appropriate timing, I will go on to share a little bit more about what we offer. And usually, right now especially, it's the Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack, 80-day obsession, depending on their goals, and I'll talk to them about what we have to offer and give them a paragraph about what we have to offer. Now, I need you guys to look at your messages, because here's another very important thing I need to make sure you're doing. Now, after I give them the paragraph, and it's, pretty concise paragraph just about like, okay, here's what I offer as a coach, I end it with a question always. And even in this circumstance, even with the woman who did describe her goal to me more thoroughly, I am going to ask more questions. So again, I'm going to say, what's your biggest hang up? What stops you right now from getting to that goal? Or dig more. So if she maybe answered that already, I'm just going to dig further into it because I want to learn more about her. So I'm going to ask more questions. So I'm going to allow her. So in both situations, I'm going to allow them to answer more questions. And then after I've dug in, that's when I tell them the price. And I give them a breakdown of what they get, and I let them know the price there. And additionally, there's also that video that you can use in the Coach Online Office too, that kind of gives them a breakdown and shares that. I let them know the price, and I end it with a question. Every single time I send a message to somebody, I end it with a question. I want you to look at your messages. Every single one, does it end with a question? Because if you're not doing that, you're not giving them a reason to respond to you. And if you are saying, let me know if you're interested, that is not a question. It has to have a question mark. So I never say, let me know if you're interested. That is passive. That is not doing my job, because my job is to cheer them on and to lead the conversation. I am the leader of the conversation, not them. So it's my job to make sure they get what they need, and to do that, I lead the conversation and I say, are you ready to enroll? How does that sound to you? Do you want to get enrolled with us today? Okay, so each time I'm ending it with a question. Additionally, I am going to create urgency in that question. So, are you ready to enroll today? Are you ready to enroll to claim one of your spots in my challenge group? So they know in that, you know, let's go now. Because if people are like me, they're gonna put stuff into a shopping cart and then they're not going to do it. Like I talked about that earlier. So make sure, you know, I'm always creating that urgency. And then lastly, with that, you guys, again, I am always leading with the excitement and with the idea that they're going to say yes. So like half the time my question to them is, are you ready to do this? Exclamation mark, question mark, because I'm pumped for them and I'm excited for them. And I know it's going to change their life. So why wouldn't I ask them that question? And why wouldn't I want to get them going today? And so I'm leading with this attitude of, I know you're ready to do this. I know you know this is for you. Let's get you going. And I'm assuming they're going to say yes before they do, and leading with that excitement. And then I always follow up, no matter what. So at any point in this conversation, if they did not respond to my last question, my last message I sent them, I will follow up, always. Always, always, always. And I don't follow up once, I follow up multiple times, because, you know, I think when I was a new coach, I thought this was a lie, one of the lies. And then it took me doing it. Like I would follow up with people for 6, 7, 12 months. And then finally they would say yes. So I follow up with people like once a month, every, 6 weeks, kind of depending on their response to me. I continue following up with them because I never know when in their life they're going to be ready to say yes. And I want to be there on that day that they're ready to say yes, when they need it most. I want to be the person in their corner cheering them on, ready to help them change their life. Sorry, my dog is having a fit right now. Let me see. Here we go. Make sure I don't have any questions on here. Okay, cool. And then I want to leave you guys with this story. And I'm sorry this is going a little bit longer than I wanted, but I do think this is an important story. So when I was a newer coach, honestly, I hadn't bought into like half the stuff I said to you just now, because I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't honestly believe coaches change lives. And anyone who's listening and thinking like this isn't true, I challenge, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Go all in for a year and put people before, yourself. Put changing lives as a priority, and you're going to see through your challenge groups, through the coach opportunity, that you do impact lives, that you do make a difference. But you're never going to believe me until you do it. So I need you to do a trust fall into this entire process, even if you're skeptical like I was, because I was super, super, super skeptical about this entire inviting thing when I started. But then I saw it wasn't about me. It truly was about, in 30 days, someone saying to me, thank you for inviting me. I love myself now. I love my body now. I'm different in my relationships when I walk into work. And that was my light bulb moment. I had that happen. But one thing that haunts me from when I was a new coach, I was invited to the 21-Day Fix infomercial taping when I was brand new, because I rocked out that program like a boss. I followed it like a Bible, and I got awesome results. And I was invited to the 21-Day Fix infomercial filming. Well, when I got there was like 17 of us there, and these people had amazing transformations. So here I was, I lost like 7 pounds, cool. But I was with people who lost like 100 pounds, like totally changed their life in every single way, and their body. And there was one guy in particular, he had lost 100 pounds in 6 months. And we were staying in a hotel. We were also filming in this hotel. And me and one of the girls, we were all coaches. Some people were just for the discount. Other people were business coaches. But me and one of these girls, we were walking through the hotel, and there's this big man standing outside of this door. Big guy, 6 foot, like probably over 300 pounds. And as we walked by, he was like, ladies, please be quiet. As you're walking by, they're filming in there. And we're like, oh, you're the bodyguard for the infomercial filming. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on in there. He said, but it's getting really heavy and emotional. And there's a guy in there and he's crying. And it's just like, it's getting real heavy in there. I don't know what's happening. And we knew, so we peeked our heads in and we saw who was in there. And it was one of the people who had lost 100 pounds, this man. And we looked at the bodyguard, who I call Harry now. I don't know his actual name. I call him Harry. And I said, oh, man, Harry, I go, have you heard? Have you been listening? Did you hear his story? And Harry's like, no, I don't have any idea what's going on. I was like, well, you see him? You see him now? We said, Harry, he used to weigh 100 pounds more than he did. He used to go to McDonald's for breakfast and for lunch. And he told us, at dinner last night that for his children's entire lives, he had been too tired to hang out with them. And so when he'd get home from his job every day at 4, he would kick his kids out of the house and make them go play with the neighbors so he could take a nap because he was tired. But over the past year, this man has lost 100 pounds because of this program. And in that, he has rebuilt his relationship with his wife and with his kids. And instead of kicking them out of the house, he's now playing with them. He's the one playing with them outside and doing things with them. And he has learned how to be a better father by taking care of himself first and by taking care of his body. And he's lost his 100 pounds. And as we were telling Harry, who was a very, very big man, and Harry is talking to me and another female who are about my size, so 2 small females. And Harry's eyes were like lighting up and just getting super excited. And he's like, what? He was like, he used to eat McDonald's every day, but now he doesn't. He's like, I eat McDonald's every day. And he was like, I'm tired all the time too. And the guy is just like, you could see the hope building in Harry's eyes. That's what it was. It was hope. And you could see it building up. And here's the thing. I don't know what happened to Harry after this conversation. Because I'm going to be honest, Harry didn't need me or the other girl, which I now highly regret, getting his contact information. Because Harry saw the man in the chair telling his story, and Harry saw himself. And Harry needed that man. And Harry was waiting for that man. And Harry's like, okay, I'm going to talk to him. As soon as he comes out, I'm going to talk to him, and I want him to tell me exactly what he did because I want to do it with him. And Harry's like, I want to do it with this guy. Because if he did it, I can do it, and I want him to show me the way. And Harry wanted that. Here's the deal, you guys, is the man sitting in the chair, he wasn't there yet mentally. He was a coach, but he was scared. He was scared of failing. He was scared that he wasn't enough. He was scared that he wouldn't know what to do. And he was scared of inviting. So I always wonder to this day if the coach in that chair got over their fear and showed Harry how to change his life. And I wonder what happens to Harry even to this day. I hope that we will all be the coach who is bold and who is fearless and who isn't worried about our ego or if we are told no, and who isn't worried about if we fail or don't fail. I hope we're the coach who sets aside our fear of failure to instead help somebody else and to change someone else's life, and to take that hope that we have, that gift that we have through our challenge groups and through the coach opportunity, and to pay that forward. I hope that we can be those people. And when you can focus on that and simply offering a gift to somebody, offering that hope to somebody, instead of focusing on a Success Club point or that commission or whatever it might be, you're going to be really excited to offer that gift to people every day. If you can focus on those things, if you can focus on the hope you're offering somebody, you're going to be very excited. And then you're going to want to invite more and more and more. But you have to start, and you have to invite to even experience what I've just told you, to experience the fact that we do change lives, that we do make a difference. And you just have to start by inviting and doing it day after day after day after day until you get that one person who looks at you and says, thank you, you have changed my life. But we all have Harrys in our life. They're on the other side of that computer screen. Maybe they're at the job where you work each day. We don't know what people are struggling with, but you will not know until you ask. So I am challenging you all to think about everyone else today and to set aside your ego and your fears and to dive into this inviting process and just be a person and talk to another person about their hopes and their goals and their dreams, and then let them know how we can help them bring it to life. Because that's what we're going to do. And it's super cool. So, love you guys. Sorry that was so long. And yeah, have a great Thursday.